Today we're talking about the volumes of cylinders, cones, and spheres. Specifically, we're going to talk about how they are related to each other. If I was to take a cylinder and place a cone inside of it, visually you could probably estimate that it would take about the volume of 3 cones to equal that one cylinder's volume. Let's go through a proof of this. In order to make this proof, let's make a couple things similar to make our lives a little bit easier. So this would be my radius of both that cone and the cylinder. This is going to be the height of both my cylinder and my cone as well. When we write out these formulas, so if I say my volume for my cone is 1/3 pi r squared h, the volume for my cylinder is pi r squared h. When I look at that, that pi r squared h is common on both. The only difference is this 1/3. So what that means is 1/3 of a cylinder, because this pi r squared h represents a cylinder, gives us the volume of a cone. So that one's not as tricky. I find the trickier version of this is when we look at the volume of a sphere related to a cylinder. So if I have my sphere here and I draw a cylinder that would fit this sphere perfectly, we're going to get a shape like this. So a couple pieces that we need to consider, because this sphere is fitting here absolutely perfect. So what that means, the radius of my sphere is still the radius of my cylinder, so that's fine. The height of my cylinder is equal to 2 radiuses. So if we take the formula for volume of our cylinder, which is pi r squared h, instead of writing h, I'm going to write 2 radius. So that gives me 2 pi r cubed for this cylinder. And the only reason I can do that is because I'm setting 2r to equal to h. Well, we also know that the volume of a sphere is equal to 4/3 pi r cubed. So when I look at these two formulas, they both have pi r cubed in common. So that 4/3 and 2 is the difference. I want to know what multiple that is. So if I go 4/3 divided by 2, because those are the only differences now that we have between my cylinder and my sphere, when I divide fractions, I multiply by that reciprocal, we get 4/6, which reduces to 2/3. So what that means is our sphere's volume is 2/3 the volume of a cylinder. A little bit tricky to understand and to interpret that, but that's how they're related. So at the end of the day, my cylinder is the largest shape, and then we have our spheres and our cones.